In last year's state championship game, St. Ed's and Moeller battled down to the wire, with St. Ed's coming from behind to win in double overtime. Now the teams are set to renew their rivalry with the state title once again at stake, and it's coming up next on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. It's the 2013 Ohio High School Boys Rugby State Finals on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. From Westerville North High School in Westerville, Ohio, Greg Franke along with Fricky Lobsher for this matchup, and as we said, it is a rematch of a thriller in last year's state championship in two very interesting contrasting styles here. St. Ed's has got a team full of players that have a lot of rugby experience, more a lot of players from other sports that have really adopted very well to the sport of rugby.
Correct. One of the things that's correct there is there's two different styles of rugby. You'll see from the Moeller side, it's going to be a more forward-orientated attack, and then I would say a more well-rounded from St. Ed's, as they're going to try to outmaneuver Moeller in this game.
Moeller, as we said, have a lot of athletes from other sports. They were the football state champions. They have players from that team, and an interesting aspect of their team is they've really tried to mold rugby players from a lot of the principles that carry over from those other sports.
No, it's right. I mean, it's been said it's a different concept with when you look at football versus rugby, but it's I think when the two comes together and you do it correctly, then you find teams that are going to find themselves in the final. So very exciting for rugby there, Greg.
Meanwhile, St. Edward has a lot of players that have been groomed as rugby players for many years, and we're going to see that they play on a very high tactical and technical level here today.
Yeah, Greg, see, this is where I cap them in this sense that if they get it the basics right, and if they play rugby with the back line and try to outmaneuver, outsmart the Moeller team, then they might have the upper hand in this game.
Talking about stars of this game, in speaking of players from other sports, look no further than Jojo Aramo from Moeller. You might remember, if you watched the high school state championship when Moeller won that, he was their star tailback, but he's actually a four-year rugby player. That's his main sport. He's going to be playing collegiately at Ohio State.
That's correct. He's an outside center. He's a brilliant outside center. And what's really key with Moeller is with Jojo is he can snap on the pace in less to no seconds. So once he puts the gas down, catching that gap and using his ability, so he's a very, very effective rugby player there, Greg.
St. Ed's will have fewer of those individual standouts, but they are an excellent team, an excellent unit, and probably their leader is their number 8 man, Kevin Trickle. He's their leader on and off the field. Yeah,
Trickle leads by example. Fantastic rugby player. Once again, he's in the 8-man position, the 8-man jersey. We'll see a lot. I'm gambling on the fact that we will see him pick the ball up from the scrums, trying to attack from the set pieces. If they can perfect that, once again, then Moeller has to be on the lookout.
What's going to win, rugby savvy or heart and athleticism? Very interesting to find out in this rematch between Moeller and St. Ed's, coming up on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel.
All right, give me a spot. You know my motto, safety first.
They could be dangerous. I think we should call animal control.
Animal control?
To be safe.
Don't worry. I got this. It's a new motto.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
On August 17th, Rush for a Cause will hold its annual Family Sports Blitz. This year, rugby is being added to football, volleyball, and soccer. Newly added to the 2016 Olympics, rugby is a quickly growing sport. This year will feature Rookie Rugby for grades 5 through 8, free clinics by the Ohio State players and coaches, as well as scrimmages for high school 7s and 15s. For additional information, contact Lee Pulver at 440-941-2181.
Football isn't just a game of running, catching, and salsa dancing. There's velocity, trajectory, and momentum. On the field and off, science and math are a winning combination. Getting your kids excited about these subjects now can lead them to great jobs in the future. That's why Time Warner Cable developed Connect a Million Minds, to introduce young people to hands-on learning that will spark a lifelong interest in math and science. Find out how to inspire your kids at connectamillionminds.com.
The Division I Boys State Championship brought to you by Tiger Rugby Academy. What you do today impacts your tomorrow. By OSU Sports Medicine, team physicians for the Buckeyes and you. By World Rugby Shop, your source for the world's best selection of rugby gear. Shop today at worldrugbyshop.com, powered by Passion. And by Rugby Ohio, visit rugbyohio.net for more information on how you can get in the game. And we have gotten in the game here, just underway between Moeller and St. Ed's, and an early opportunity here for St. Ed's to take an early lead as we are just about a minute into the game. I think they're trying to expedite things a little bit because of the possibility of rain in the forecast.
Yeah, there's going to be a penalty here, and the difference, they're going for 3 points. Early infringement there by the Moeller team, the Crusaders. So let's see if the Eagles can capitalize. And pretty lengthy kick, but they do have the wind behind them.
37 yards away. Pretty good angle, though. And the ball is good. The flags are up, and St. Ed's an early lead as they strike first and lead 3-0.
Yeah, that was Jack Walsh with a fantastic strike of the ball. Got enough on it, and over she goes for three points. First blood to the Eagles.
Jack Walsh was a wide receiver on that football team that won the state championship. He worked really hard at his kicking, and he makes some of the most difficult kicks. I don't know if this is one of the most difficult, but it certainly wasn't an easy kick, but he had no problem with it.
No, that's definitely confidence, and as you can tell, it's right through the middle. Fantastic kick there by Jack Walsh.
And they have the luxury of a right-footed and a left-footed kicker of just about equal capability. Ronan Forrestall, 15, is a left-footed kicker, so if that had gone from the other side of the field, likely would have seen him. But now Moeller coming right back, and we're going to see their athletic and very big players in that forward pack try to dominate this field.
Yeah, it's a Moeller at the moment, and you can see they're marching that forward. The momentum is definitely on the Moeller side. In a little bit here, they're going to have to use it if it doesn't go to ground, but still they're moving forward. Good play by the Crusaders. No, exactly. Sorry, Greg, there. The maul, it was a maul, and they didn't go to ground, so it didn't turn into a rock. So what the Eagles did very well there is they kept the maul up, and therefore the advantage, the scrum, is going to go to the Eagles.
You look at the size of the players on the two teams, and it definitely shows you the advantage enjoyed up front by the Moeller Crusaders. And that is not surprising given the fact that they have a lot of football players on their team.
Yeah, good solid scrum there by the Crusaders, trying to put some pressure on the Eagles.
Nonetheless, St. Ed's is very aggressive in their forward pack, and they're not going to back down at all. That is a kick that is fielded out by number 14, Chris Wright. He gave it off to Aramo, number 13, and we talked about in the open. And he's the kind of guy that can beat an entire team all by himself. They're going to have to really watch him closely. And there he goes. As we take a look at the Moeller Crusaders lineup, and they have, you see, Jacob Duffy, a Division I football prospect in the number 1 position, 340-pounder, and a lot of other players that have a lot of size and a lot of athleticism too. And Aramo, we just saw him really break away with that run. Andrew Schmaltz, he's going to be key at the fullback position. They expect St. Ed's to do a lot of tactical kicking, and he's got to be able to handle those balls near his own try line.
No, absolutely. And like we said, the Eagles are...
Here's a look at the St. Ed's lineup, and not the same size, but a lot of really strong players, good tactical skills. Kevin Trickle, number 8, we talked about him. And throughout the lineup in the backfield, we saw Walsh with that great conversion. And Ryan Bradfield, watch for him, an excellent sophomore. He's had fine games against Moeller, both last year and this year. And in their semifinal victory over St. Ignatius, he made a couple of really exciting runs. So watch for the number 13 on St. Ed's.
Yeah, the ball didn't go in straight, and that's mainly due to the wind. The wind's going to be a factor in these lineouts. You'll probably find that the hookers are going to try to maybe find their earlier jumpers or the guys in the front rather than going to the back due to the wind. So we'll see a scrum down for the Moeller side, for the Crusaders. And what they would like to do here is manufacture a pretty strong scrum. Keep position, and then they'll let that back line go and let the ball do the work.
Team that puts the ball in has the best chance of recovering. And you see they took a delay there. Everybody was getting set, making sure they were in position. And here comes the Crusaders forward with a crash run, and now they get it out wide. Aramo, he looked like he was going to kick, and then he fed it off. And a big tackle there, stopping Chris Wright. Just before the ball reaches a touchline, Moeller out with it, but failed to control. Still in play. Finally, the flag goes up. And I think we've seen that this is going to be a very physical match here.
No, it's definitely going to be physical. This is a great rivalry. Two schools that have played each other obviously in the past. One thing that needs to be said, there's obviously no love lost in the field, but these guys know each other well. They have the utmost respect for each other, so we're going to see a good, physical, clean match.
Saw before the game, a lot of them were greeting each other very warmly, actually, wishing each other luck. And yet there was still a lot of enthusiasm, as you saw at the open of the broadcast, the way that the players were greeted as they came on the field. It has the definite aura of a championship encounter. Moeller, find Arabo. And look at him, slid it through everyone, then feeds it off to the left. And he got it out to Cody McKay, wearing the scrum cap. He's another starting football player, the long snapper on the state champion Crusaders football team.
Yeah, nice break there by Jojo and finding his forwards again and then linking up with him. The result is they fire with the back line again.
And they get it out wide once more, and here they kick forward and trying to run onto the ball. And diving onto it goes Ronan Forrestal. And he needed to have sure hands there, and he did. And that will bring the ball back out to the inception of the kick.
Yeah, it's going to be a 22 drop in. That was basically saving a try there by Ronan. He had to be first and jumped on it.
There is Brian Lewis, the head coach for St. Edward. He has really molded a powerhouse. And he has done it by really training excellent rugby players who know the game. And ball was kicked back deep, and bringing it back up is the fullback for Moeller, Andy Smoltz. And we talked about him. He's going to be fielding a lot of those long tactical kicks and will have to be sure-handed, which he was there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and here they are. Good to see the Eagles committing to their tackle. They're putting a lot of pressure on the Crusaders at the moment, and it seems like Jojo is trying to get the relief.
Gets that ball high up in the air, especially in this swirling wind. It is hard to field, and they do that intentionally. Owen Ware. You know, in American football, you don't want to punt. It means you're giving up the ball. But here, a lot of times, that kick is an offensive weapon.
Yeah, definitely. Not finding maybe the exact place where he wanted it, nevertheless.
Bursting forward goes the number 13, the outside center, Ryan Bradfield. We talked about him, what an outstanding player he is. Doug Rossfeld, the coach for Moeller, said he's one of the top players in the state. We really got to watch for him, as well as Aramo.
Yeah, there we see a forward pass. A little unfortunate for the Eagle team because they were definitely on defense there. We'll see a scrum down for the Crusaders, and this is the first time that the Eagles basically are scrumming down in the close to the try line of the Crusaders. Although it's a Crusader feed to the scrum, the Eagles will like to greet them with some power and say, hello, here we are.
You can certainly count on them to do that as they engage in the scrum. You see how they wait before they play the ball. It's not something you always see, but they're ready and in position on the move. Aramo, look at that spin. He certainly looks like a football running back there. And he works it out to Andy Smoltz. But again, the St. Ed's defenders are right there on the scene.
Yeah, the Eagles, they're committing with 2 players and then rocking them off the ball. And you got a great backline move.
And they work it out to Owen Ware. Weaving forward, they passed it through a player all the way to the sideline and won themselves some additional space. That was a crafty move in the backfield there for St. Ed's.
The referee saw there was a bit of backchapping, maybe some not so friendly language, or I'm sure that nobody invited nobody for a barbecue there, but the referee picked up on it and he said we won't have any of that today, so there's going to be a penalty. And the Eagles with another shot at goal and maybe upping the score with another 3 points there.
But the teams have gotten together for a barbecue or something. Before their game earlier this year when St. Ed's won, they actually got together for a social event. And but they're tough out here. Let's take a look at it as Ware fed it back to Heisterkamp, and then he was greeted there rather forcefully.
And yeah, back again, Jack Walsh with another opportunity. Basically the same distance as before, just on the other side of the field. So this will be will favoring his actually the stronger side since he's right-footed.
Now he is kicking it. He kicked the last one on the other side, and now he's kicking it on this side. So we mentioned that they have the left-footed kicker as well. But maybe after he hit the last one, they're thinking, hey, he's got it tonight.
Yeah, this definitely favors him more than the other one. So in general, this should be an easier kick if there is such a thing. Let's see how he addressed this ball.
There are harder kicks in rugby, but this certainly is not an automatic. And it looks like he got it through.
That one crept over.
I thought it might have just been slicing to the left, but Jack Walsh, who has done this very often during the season for St. Ed's, he has bailed them out, and he has hit some of the hardest kicks, and he's got his team ahead 6-0 almost single-handedly. Take a look here. It was close, but in the judgment of the officials, I still have to take a second look at that, but in their judgment, it got through.
Yeah, that one crept in. Nevertheless, 3 is 3, so that brings our score to 6. Nice little cushion there for the Eagles. The Crusaders will definitely try to do the restart and recycle that ball and see if they can get something going with their back line.
Last year, St. Ed's won 10-7. They were down 7-0. They tied it with 10 minutes to play and won in double overtime. And they're off to a better start here this year.
Fantastic double rucking there by the Moeller team to win the ball back.
Aramo chips it forward. They're going to do a lot of that.
Well,
quickly they get in position to try to recover the ball, but St. Ed's is able to relieve the pressure.
Yeah, a bit of a nothing kick there, but just to try to relieve the pressure that goes into the middle of the field. And if Moeller can recycle this ball, it's dangerous times for the Eagles.
And they're hitting as hard as any St. Ed's Moeller football game. They get it out to the side and trying to find some running room on the play, but not able to do it. But then they get outside wide and make good headway.
Yeah, it's all about recycling the ball and maybe playing it wide at this stage. There's an immense overlap in the back line. If they can get this ball to go wide, there's going to be 5 points on the board.
Look at Tom Dizak, #1, trying to use his bulk to aid the forward progress of the ball carrier.
The Eagles have so many players sucked into that ruck. If this ball goes wide, it's going to be trouble for the Eagles.
And there it goes, but they come right back up the middle again. Dean Meyer is another very good football player for Moeller from that state championship team. In fact, he's probably going to be the replacement for Aramo next year on the football team in that tailback position.
Yeah, the Crusaders at this point, I mean, I think they're just too excited to cross the line. If they should use the vision, slow down, and play their options. And for me, I believe the option at the moment should be go wide. They do get a penalty from that in the quick tap.
Quick touch, and here they go again. And they get over the try line.
Pure muscle, well done.
And they're in excellent position. They have to ground the ball in order for the points to count, but they are dead on straight for their conversion attempt. That will give them an excellent chance to take the lead in this game.
Yeah, the very gutsy move. That was a sure 3 points for the begging. He backed himself, the quick tap, and then the dart for the line. You gotta cap him for that individualism play and the 5 points, and now they have a chance for 2. Here, just look at the replay. The quick tap.
Connor Kimmener going over, captain of the scrum. And he started all of last year. He's only a rugby player. He's going to be playing at Ohio University next year.
No, that was great. He backed himself, and then just powers it over for 5 points. Well done.
And not a lot of exclusive rugby players on Moeller, and certainly they get excellent leadership from him. And here now they will try to take the lead. Ball gets kind of hung up in the wind, but there's enough on it. Ryan Konis has made it 7-6 Moeller.
Yeah, that was like a little, seemed almost like a wedge.
There is Doug Rossfeld, the head coach for Moeller. He's an offensive line coach on the Moeller football team. He had no rugby background. They wanted to go varsity at Moeller. They asked some faculty members who had rugby background if they'd take over the program. For various reasons, they declined. Doug Rossfeld said, I'll do it. He surrounded himself with good assistant coaches with rugby experience, and they're the only team in Ohio that has made it to states 4 straight years, so they've had excellent success. They've also won a state championship at Moeller. Trying to win another one here today.
Yeah, no, he's done an excellent job with the team so far. And back there, look at Forrestville, the fullback that fetched that ball and then run it right back at the defense of the Crusaders. So good play there by the fullback from the Eagles.
With that maul going here, and they're making some headway.